Hey, welcome to the Resilience for Performance series presented to you by Mind Training, myself, Chris Beach. Now, resilience, I think it's pretty straightforward that resilience is critical to thriving and flourishing in any performance environment. Your ability to navigate adversities, obstacles, challenging situations effectively and efficiently is key to maximizing your potential and doing so consistently. Now, when we look at adversities and obstacles in the athletic environment, there's some common things that can pop up. And when I'm working with athletes, I don't highlight these things to develop a negative outlook or a negative perspective on the experience, but I highlight them to increase our self-awareness, our understanding, our awareness of the environment, and our understanding of the environment. And that these obstacles and adversities are in fact common, and they're common from any age, whether you're 10 all the way up to Olympic athletes, pro athletes. Doesn't matter what the sport, these things can present themselves as adversities. So there's a few different categories that we can look at, and the first one is a competitive environment. I think this is the most obvious and common one that people kind of understand a little bit more of. But when we're talking about a competitive environment, we're looking at performance expectations, both internal and external expectations, so where you think you should be at, external expectations coming from coaches, managers, parents, teammates. We talk about injuries in the competitive environment, the act of getting injured, getting diagnosed, the recovery time, returning back to your normal pace of play or level that you're at before provides some obstacles. And then we can also look at preparation. Are you prepared enough physically, mentally, tactically, technically? And then we can move on to the organizational environment. And when we talk about the organizational environment, we're looking at team culture. How are you interacting with the team? How are your teammates with one another? We talk about leadership styles, so managing different leadership styles, different coaches. This, in fact, presents a significant adversity to all athletes, and that's not just me saying that. All these things are widely researched. So leadership styles. Finally, in organizational environment, we look at logistics. So small little things that are kind of little annoyances that provide adversity, like meals, accommodations, travel, all these things that pose obstacles. And finally, we have the personal life environment. What's your family life like, your family interaction, your significant others? And a big one for student athletes, balancing academics and training and competition time. We also have to look at athletes at work, balancing work with training and competition time. So these are a few things that we can see in this experience that are common to all athletes. And here at Mind Training, we're actually able to assess how resilient you are. What is your resilience capacity? And now there's 4 areas that we can look at in terms of what shows up in this assessment. So we can see if you're at an optimal capacity for resilience, a capable capacity for resilience, a strained capacity, or a vulnerable capacity. And now, in my career, I've been through the gamut. I started at optimal, gradually fell down to a vulnerable capacity, and then built my way back up to optimal. And like I've said before, knowing where you're at is really key to working on this skill, working on resilience, being able to maintain an optimal resilience. And if you do show up strained or vulnerable, this is not a weakness. This is purely an opportunity to build your potential even greater than what it is. So you may be having success but show up as strained or vulnerable in your resilience. This is an opportunity to improve your performance and build your potential even more. So that's it for today. Our first installment of Resilience for Performance. Keep an eye out for more presented by Mind Training.